Hi, I'm Leadership Development Coach Kathy Archer. What we are all looking for in our lives and at work is connection. We all want to feel connected and be a part of a connected group of people. We all want to feel like we belong, that we matter. We want to feel like we're part of something bigger than us. I want to feel connected to my husband. I want to feel connected to my family, to my community, to the people that I'm working with. We want to feel like we matter, that there's meaning to what we're doing and why we're connected, that we belong. Let me give you an example of something that's very stereotypical, but that helps kind of explain this connection a little bit more. We've all heard that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So what happens is I cook a meal for my husband. I do an action. Some part of me has meaningful work. He eats it and he says, great food, honey. Gives me a kiss on the cheek. I feel a sense of connection. I feel like what I'm doing is meaningful, that it has purpose, that somebody else has noticed, that they care. There's a connection. Here's another example. My granddaughter comes over to visit. The door opens. My heart swells as she comes running towards me, arms open, jumps on me and says, "Grandma, I love you," and gives me a big kiss. I feel like there's a connection there. I feel like I'm needed, that I'm wanted, that I'm cared about. We all want to feel that connection. We all want to feel like we're worthwhile. We all want to feel like we matter, that we count, that we belong. Brene Brown's work talks about the need to feel this connection. And she says that we're hardwired for connection. And without that connection, that there is no meaning in our lives. That connection is the meaning and purpose that makes the difference in our lives. In Simon Sinek's work, he talks about all of the animals interconnected. Think of, this group of animals back to back as they fend off their prey. Alone, any one of them would be extremely vulnerable and would probably perish. But together, back to back, they matter to each other. They count. They are important. The same, Simon Sinek uses the same example with Spartan warriors. Side by side, shield to shield, they mattered to each other because alone they couldn't have defended their whatever they were fighting for. But together, when they were aligned and connected side by side, that they mattered and that we are important. So my question to you is to think about your organization. Think about the people that you supervise, the people that you are responsible for. Do they feel the connection? Do they feel like they matter? Do they feel important? Do they feel like somebody would notice if they didn't show up for work one day? That their work, the part that they do, counts, that it's meaningful. So here's 3 questions that you can ask yourself every day to think about, am I creating that sense of belonging in my team? The first question is, did I acknowledge everybody on my team? And by acknowledge, I mean, did you actually kind of call them by their first name? Did you say, "Hey, Cindy, how are you doing today?" Did you, acknowledge something that's going on in their lives that separates them from the rest of the team? It's great to say, "Hey, gang, good to see y'all today." But did you say, "Hey, Cindy, how's your daughter doing?" Or "How's that project going?" Or "I like your shirt today." Something that acknowledges that they're an individual person. So first question, did you acknowledge each individual team member today? Second question, have you given them something meaningful to do? Is the task they're working on connected to something bigger? And it might be, but have you made that connection for them? One of the things that we often miss is we sort of assume that people realize that what they're doing is connected to the bigger picture, the bigger purpose of our organization, of the work we're doing. But sometimes it's important to make that connection. And here's an example. I remember watching some of the good old detective shows back in the day, and the sergeant would have his crew in front of him and he'd give them all their assignments and tasks, and at the end of it, he, before they went off to do their work for the day, he'd say something like, let's make it safe out there in the community. and that's what I'm talking about. It's that ability to connect the task that you're doing and you're doing and you're doing today to the bigger picture of our organization. What difference does it make that we're even here? For some organizations, it's like, we've got some families to care for today. Let's make sure that the work we're doing, holds our families carefully and safely. For other organizations, it might be that what somebody's doing today, the task they're doing, helps you in a bigger project that you're working on. You're pulling a proposal together. Maybe somebody's pulling stats together for you. Maybe somebody's covering a meeting for you because you're doing something else today. But acknowledging that what they're doing matters. So, second question, have I given each person on my team valuable, meaningful work to do today? Third question is, think about the language that you're using. Am I using all-inclusive language? Am I using we and us versus me and I? Because if you want a team that's connected and that people feel like they belong, then you've got to use that language that says we're all in this together. So think about some of the things that you're saying, I'm pulling this proposal together, or I'm going to this meeting, or I'm heading off to this meeting that we've pulled the information together for. Just that simple shift helps kind of connect, we're all doing this today because of this. And you'll notice that when you hear your people talk, are they talking about we and us? Or are they talking about me and I? And when you hear the words come out of your mouth, are you saying me and I? Are you saying we and us? The more you're all inclusive, the more you make people feel like they belong. Daniel Pink has done some work around motivation. He wrote the book Drive. And I think one of the things that stands out in all of the work around motivation in the last little while is that what we're looking for is not external motivation. The rewards and the bonuses and the paycheck aren't enough anymore. What people are looking for is that intrinsic motivation, that internal motivation. And so to get people to buy in, to get people to do the work, to get people to feel motivated, they want to feel like what I'm doing matters. And so we're looking to enhance that intrinsic motivation. We're looking to make people feel like, you know what? When I do my part, when I do this piece, when I do my work and do it well, it impacts the rest of the team. And I want to feel that impact for the rest of the team. It's been said that people don't work for organizations, they work for a boss. Build that connection with your employees, build that sense of belonging in your team, and you'll start to really cultivate the motivation and the connection that you're looking for to have that team that does the work because they feel like they want to do the work. Not because they're being told they had to do it, but because they want to, because they're part of something bigger than them. Remember, life is about connections. And the more you can create connections in the team, the stronger the team you'll have.